Hey friends, so it's me again. I always want to shoot when it is a low light and terrible, just everything, but I'm going with the urge because I want to create content, video content for myself and maybe for whoever wants to watch. And so I'm starting now so that when maybe eventually I start doing higher quality with microphone and equipment, I'll at least have the content part down. And getting used to hearing my voice. So thankful that I don't have to edit these, at least yet. So today I want to talk about the UNPOSED field guide and what that is, my story with it, how I shoot with it, and just my thoughts in general. So let's get started. I recently received the new UNPOSED Couples Edition, and it comes on a nice little ring. It is smaller and definitely more transportable, as well as the UNPOSED Family Edition. I'm not paid to do this. I just freaking love Meg and Josh so much, and this has changed. I want to say it's changed my life, but it's definitely changed my job. So it's changed everything of how I shoot. How my clients see me, how I interact with my clients, how I see my clients, and we're going to get deep into that. The original was much larger cards, as you can tell. It was not on the ring. They're sort of freelance, so it was definitely harder. I feel like I've lost maybe 5 or 6 of them just from transporting them between bags, and so I'm really excited about this new ring. So UNPOSED field guide, in short, you can go to www.unposedfieldguide.com/purchase-1. And I think actually if you just put .com and not the slash part, it will go to it. UNPOSED is for photographers and videographers who shoot weddings as well as families. As of recent, like I said, they've opened up to family. They have a new UNPOSED for that. What is UNPOSED? UNPOSED is a collection of prompts and games designed to get your clients to connect and forget about the camera. In return, giving you authentic images filled with natural movements, real expression, and genuine emotion. It kind of just talks about how we all have those grooms that are hard to crack, and we all have that teenager that doesn't want to be there, and stressed brides, maybe people that you don't really connect with, and you have that awkward couple that's never been in front of the camera. You have that couple that's always in front of the camera, and so they have their very cheesy smiles on, and you really just want that real smile. And so that's what UNPOSED breaks down. And so who designed this? The owners of, I don't know, the makers of this are Josh and Meg Sauter. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce their last name. But they are photographers of Love is a Big Deal. And that alone just says so much to me that they named their photography business Love is a Big Deal, because it is a big deal, and I'm just really nerdy about it because I freaking love them. They feel like friends even though I've only met them once. So that's what UNPOSED is. If you order UNPOSED online now, you're going to get this version, which I think is super cool, and I like it. And so the main thing that I want to talk about, I did actually write down some things. Who am I? Whatever. What is UNPOSED? Done. Who invented it? Yes. How did I get it? So, how did I get it? In 2016, I think it was October, me and my best friend Emily Glentz of Fair and Bay Photography, she and I invested money into a training conference that literally, it was a Facebook ad, and it said, "UNPOSED, stop posing, start playing." And I think both of us, I know I can speak for myself, I was just in this crutch of like, started forgetting my clients' names, couldn't tell you what memories were from what shoots or weddings, and I was 18 and burning out. And literally had only been doing this for 2 years, barely doing this for 2 years, and I feel like that should speak for itself, and I was just getting tired and stressed, and I was always claiming during couples the couple part of a wedding. Like, everything else was sort of going the way I wanted to. I got my settings down. I understood how to work a camera. I had the foundationals down. And so when I saw this, I just remember Emily Glenn sent it to me once, and I sort of checked it out, and it was a lot of money, and so I sort of passed it by. And then a month later, Emily Glenn sent it again to me, and she was like, we really need to do this. And I had literally signed up for it that morning because I was like, I'm desperate for this. I need help. And so I was like, you better sign up now because I need a ride to Nashville. And I don't want to go alone because I had only ever been to any kind of intensive once, and it was with a bunch of Christian girls, and it was up in Washington. It was with a ministry, and it was with ministry I really trusted, and so going to out of town to meet a bunch of photographers was really out of my comfort zone. So we ended up going together, and so what that was this was, I believe, when UNPOSED was literally just starting, and so it is something that has obviously gotten a little more, they've definitely invested a lot more time and into creating this and listening to a lot of more reviews. Literally, I just think that the base of this has just been, it's just generosity and them sharing what makes their work so incredible and what makes, they've been doing this for years, and they do this every weekend, and so just to, like, see them want to share their wisdom and their experience, and not just share that, but, like, give that, offer this incredible tool. I feel like I get a message all the time from people that are like, is it worth it? I mean, it's expensive, and I need to look up exactly how much it is. Let's see, Couples Edition. It's $150 for the UNPOSED Couples Edition. It's $150 for the, and it's $250 for both. So you do get a $50 discount if you get both. And gosh, for what it can become, 100% worth it. Like, oh my gosh, we buy thousands of dollars of camera equipment, and you're second guessing $125 for this. And so that's what I kind of want to talk about, is like, how did I invest in it? And I invested $400 into that, and I actually had no idea that I was going to be walking away with these cards. I just thought it was this training that I was going to try to soak in everything I could in 4 hours and walk away trying to implement that all. So that's how I got it. And what I want to chat about is basically how I implemented UNPOSED. And I want to keep it kind of vague about exactly what the cards are. You know, you can read the description on there. You can get a sample card on their website. But I am really, I want to be really careful to just sort of respect their product. And I've never wanted to showcase their product in any sort of way. There's a lot of different people that share this with other photographers that haven't paid for it, and I just think that's unethical. And they have worked really hard on this, and they've spent so much time and energy, and they've perfected it, and they've added and listened, and they created such a community out of this. There's a Facebook group that you get to join when you buy the cards, and no one gets to cheat their way into this, you know, and as photographers and videographers, we know how hard it is to make a living off of what we do, and people are always like, oh, you cost that much, and you're like, yeah, and I live okay, you know, so hopefully you guys can also respect that, and you can message me if you have any more questions about UNPOSED. So anyways, we're going to jump on into this. So, walking away from that, I was really overwhelmed, so excited to put this into play, but what it took is a lot of bravery, and you really have to put yourself out there, because it's all about personality and just really jumping in with them, having fun with them, making them do things that maybe they didn't expect. And one of the things Josh, I remember talking about, was just that he prefaces with his couples, like, hey, like, just so you know, this is how it's going to roll. Like, you don't just bounce into it and say, like, and now you're going to do this, and whisper in your ear this, and it's like, I feel like that would throw a couple off when they're expecting, you know, like, what their parents got at the traditional wedding, classic wedding photographer. And so what I've found through the last year of shooting this style is that when people come to me, when clients are trying to book me, that's what they're wanting, is the photos that I've already been taking of just like, I feel like I was just meeting with a couple and they said, when we look at your photos, all of your photos, people look comfortable. And like that, to me, it was the highest achievement I could reach, because I'm not even comfortable in front of a camera. And so for them to say that these people who aren't in front of the camera constantly, that's my ideal client, are couples who are just ready to do whatever I tell them to do, because they're like, whatever it takes, we just want photos capturing us. And so jumping into that unposed and having to just really be involved and really present during that time, and just giving up a pose or an idea and vision for a photo for them to have a moment is what it's really about. And that's kind of where I started going with Unposed, was just saying, you know what, like, there's been times where I've set up a couple in this like beautiful moment and the lighting was awful, and it just like, it was coming in from the wrong direction. It wasn't what I envisioned. Something shifted and it just didn't work out, but they were having this like beautiful moment of just like telling each other something, sharing with each other, and I could just tell it was like that moment where they're like staring into each other's eyes. And I've never been in love, but like, I feel like through my job I've gotten just like a small glimpse of what that looks like. And I just let them sit there for however long they need to. Sometimes it's like 4 minutes and they're still just going and loving each other, and I get 2 photos, and that was 4 minutes of a shoot that maybe I didn't get to just like click away, and that's still worth it to me. One of the biggest things that Unpost has sort of allowed me to grow into is being able to give them moments. Like, I almost feel like I get to come in on their wedding day and everything else is rushed. Everything else is timeline. You know, you have their florist arriving at one time. You're tossing your bouquet at another. You're getting married on time, and you have to go to the rehearsal and learn all these different things. And, oh gosh, I think I've had music playing this entire time. I'm so sorry. You can hear that music. And then they come to the portrait, and they are just in this stressful hustle mode. And all of a sudden, you just put them there, and you just say, like, breathe. And what you're about to do is to create this, like, time for them to reflect, to be with each other, and to forget that you're there. And that is a priceless gift that you can give someone on their wedding day. Because how many people come to you and say, oh my gosh, I feel like my wedding day was like a blur. Like, I don't remember anything. And I get that that will happen for anyone, and that's going to be common. Maybe that will happen to me. I am praying that it won't, because I don't believe that your wedding day should be a blur. I believe your wedding day should be built up of moments that you really were present in and you lived in. And that's where I feel like I'm on the phone with my couples, with my brides, and saying, lay it down before the Lord. Let these anxieties just flow. That night before your wedding, drink a buttload of water and just give it up, because there is nothing you're going to be able to change about tomorrow. Just Blythe, one of my couples who's also in Unposed, who shoots Unposed, like, I just remember her saying, my motto for today is it's fine. You know, people were coming up to her and being like, sorry, this happened, but I think we figured it out. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine now, because there's nothing I can do. I want to be here. I want to live this moment. And so that's just allowed me to tell my clients, like, hey, it's fine. I've got this. If it's raining, I've got this, because you're going to live in this day. Give me the responsibility to make you look good. Stop trying to angle yourself. You know, like, I've got this. You have to lose all your insecurities from this point on. And so I think rolling into sort of, sorry, I am all over the place. But Unposed, investing in this is not going to fix all your problems. It's not going to fix your burnout. It's not going to be, I remember talking to Meg about this, and she was honest, and she was, hey, like, a lot of people have UNPOSED and they're not doing anything with it, and they spend all this money and they say it's not worth it. And I feel like I'm like like I just completely ran with it. Like I took it, it was like it completely fixed my personality like crutch, where I was just like, I don't get along with my clients, what do I do? Like especially because I'm not married, I have never fallen in love, I haven't really dated seriously before, and so there's this huge gap really between me and my clients of understanding, like, we have so many other things that we can talk about, and I absolutely love love, and my parents are marriage counselors, and so I have been surrounded by this concept of love my entire life, and so has everybody else, and there's been lots of things that have come in, obviously, through marriage, being a wedding photographer, and so, but there's just this gap, and so I was really at a loss, and Meg even said, like, this isn't the fix. UNPOSED, investing $150, it's just like a lens. Investing $1,000 into a 50 millimeter amazing 1.2 lens, I think it's more than $1,000. But investing that, you're not going to walk away with photos that look like Emily Majors or Taylor Catley. You're not going to walk away and all of a sudden have, like, Phil Chester. You're not going to get those presets from India Earl and all of a sudden have India Earl photos. And because it's the photographer, it is. And yeah, your aperture may make things look a lot more professional, and but it's the same concept with this. Like, you have to take the step to use this tool. So when you get it in the mail and you're like, everything's going to change, and you get there on the shoot and it doesn't go as planned, it's because it's like anything. You have to learn it. You have to learn how it works with you. The Facebook group is all about inventing your own cues, your own games. It's about how does it work with your clients? Like, some of them just don't work with my ideal client, and so I just don't use them. And I have my basics that I always go to, and I feel like other people's basics are completely different than mine, and that's what it's about, is personalizing it for you and your clients. And it's not about sticking to these. I keep lifting up these, but this is the one that you're going to get. It's not about sticking to these. It's about the entire concept behind UNPOSED. It's about making it more than tradition. And, gosh, yeah, I could go on forever. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm just really passionate about how much this has changed the way that I've taken weddings, and, I've had the greatest compliments this year on my work, because I don't think it's just because I'm getting better. I really do think it's because I'm invested in my clients. I actually I know all their names. Like, I knew all my names before that, but if you asked me, like, oh, I saw that wedding that you did, blah, 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 like, I could tell you what their first date was. I could tell you how their first kiss went, and that it was awkward, and they were in high school, and it was so awful, and they don't want to talk about it. And I can tell you that 3 of my couples, like, their first date was Grizzly games, and that's such a Memphis thing, and I absolutely love that. And I know their proposal stories, and I know what makes them laugh, and I know where they're getting married, and I know what their priorities are. I know what to say to him to make her laugh. I know what gets him, and that is priceless. And that was not something that I just got from buying this. It was from really learning it. I didn't just jump into my first shoot and use every card and know what to do. It took 9 months before I felt like I did a shoot entirely UNPOSED, and even in that, I still go autopilot, and I still go, this is hard, I just need to get it done, you have a limited amount of time. And that's why Family Edition is so exciting, the fact that they've added this, because one of the reasons I stopped shooting families is because it's traditional, it's hard to just... And a lot of people want those traditional family photos, and so I'm excited to find families that really want to invest in these emotions captured. So, yeah, how I implemented it. That's basically it. Is I just started using it. I started breaking down my workflow during a shoot. I stopped thinking about, like, I stopped just thinking about these dream vision settings. And what started happening was I just started caring about if they were enjoying it and if they were having fun. And I started getting texts from Bud saying he really enjoyed it. Like, he never takes photos with me, and he said that was fun, and he looks forward to the wedding day. And having, like, that text means the world to me because I have the couple on my side. And when we show up on the wedding day, it's like, it's me and them, and they're good. They're not stressed about the portrait time. They're allowed to just breathe in the portrait time and let me go. And let me show them how to have fun. And they get to reflect on, like, through these cards, you have these cues and questions that just let them, like, just dig into their love story and, like, remember those little moments that built them to that day. What anticipated them to that day. They get to look on to the future of, like, what's your 50 years from now going to look like? You know, and that's something that, like, no matter how reflective a couple is, they might not get on a wedding day. And as a photographer, like, that is the gift that you get to give them. And I mean, from a selfish standpoint, as a photographer, you look at those photos of people crying and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I feel like I just want that. I want to make them cry. And I want to get photos of genuine laughter, and people look at these photos of these incredible photographers and you're like, how did they get these clients? And it's not just the clients. It really is the connection, and it really is the way that you just push yourself in that shoot, and you get to know them. So that's Unposed. You can get Unposed at www.unposedfieldguide.com. And if you want to look at my work, it's www.emily-fraser.com. I'm pretty sure 80% of the work on my gallery's wedding page and engagement page are shot at Post Unposed. And you can look at my Instagram. It's linked below, because I've just been prioritizing sharing those photos that really make me feel and remind me of the way that my couples felt and the way that my people. I've shot unposed portraits now. Like, I sort of change things around, and I implement these games with portraits because I don't want people to get their senior photos back and they look cheesy and awkward and classic. I want them to be them and to capture them in that season. So if y'all have any questions and want me to make another video about Unposed and what that looks like, let me know. And yet, no, I was not paid to make this. I just want to put that out there. This is not a product or ad, and this is just something that I'm really passionate about, and I want to give back to Meg and Josh because they gave me and so many other photographers that I know just an opportunity to be able to love our clients in a way that we didn't even know was possible. So that is that. I have a whole list of YouTube videos that I want to make, and I'm scared to make them with this low quality, but you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I'm looking forward to more. Goodbye, friends.